Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to TAN Totally Awesome News. I'm your host, Josh, again, bringing you some interesting news stories, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in with our minor topics. Alright, first up, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure many of you know, WrestleMania starts tonight. Of course, it's going to be a two-night event. It's WrestleMania 37 from, I think, the Raymond James Stadium. It's the first WWE event to take place outdoors with fans in attendance in over a year, and I'm looking forward to it, although I do have my reservations because the booking leading up to this show has been not the best, let's just say that. Also, earlier, they announced, I think it might have been last night, they announced that not only is Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE title opening the show, that's right, the WWE title is the curtain jerker for night one, but Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are going to be main eventing night one for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And honestly, way to make an already at face value less interesting show even less interesting. And me and Skylar, I believe that we predicted this during the Fastlane preview, or at least in our messages back and forth. We were like, I hope they don't make Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley open the show, and I hope they don't make Sasha and Bianca main event the show. Well, they're doing just that, and it's pure. Well, there's two reasons for this. One, they desperately want Drew McIntyre to be cheered, and the crowd is usually hottest during the opening match. So they're basically just they're very much telegraphing that Drew McIntyre is going to win the WWE title tonight when he faces Bobby Lashley. Why else is he opening the show? I mean, it's obvious that he's going to win the title back now. So I don't know what this accomplishes. And also, the only reason why they're having Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair main event is because they're women, and because they're women of color. And if that offends you, then I'm sorry that you cannot give me another reason as to why they're main eventing. I think it has a lot to do with Peacock and them trying to prove to Peacock that they are PC, that they're not racist and they're not sexist. So how do you prove that? By having women and women of color main event one of your shows, even though their feud up to this point has been absolutely just garbage. They've done nothing but tag against the women's tag team champions for the past several months because WWE is just flagrantly booking as lazily as possible. But anyway, still WrestleMania starts tonight. Night 1 is tonight. Night 2 is tomorrow. I'm so looking forward to Night 2 more than I am Night 1. But hopefully, even though Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley are jerking the curtain, hopefully they can still put on a great match, which I think they will. And even though the build for Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair has been awful, and I do not believe that they deserve the main event spot, and it's clear why they're given the main event spot, hopefully that'll still be a good match, and it probably will because Bianca Belair is really good and Sasha's good. So, as far as wrestling-wise, I am somewhat looking forward to WrestleMania, and it'll be nice to see them perform in front of fans again. But in other news, this is probably the most surprising thing I've seen or heard about, and this is actually like a week or so old. There's going to be a Lord of the Rings Gollum video game. Yeah, so they came out with a sneak peek trailer, I think it was on IGN, on YouTube, about a week or so ago, where they showed a little bit of gameplay, and of course it looks like it's going to be something for like PS5 or Xbox One. They didn't really name a system it was going to be on, and it might just be on PC, I'm not sure. But the concept of a Lord of the Rings Gollum game is very interesting to me because if you saw the movies, and if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, what's wrong with you? Basically, Gollum doesn't really fight that much. He sneaks around, he slinks around, he's a conniving individual who only gets physical when he needs to. He'd much rather deceive you and fill your ear with lies and manipulate you than directly combat you. So I think a lot of this game is just going to be like sneaking around. It might be just like it honestly might be like a Metal Gear game set in a Lord of the Rings setting where you're just using stealth more than anything else all the time. Which is another reason why that makes it interesting is because Gollum is a sickly-looking, skinny, skin and bones-looking character. And you'll be playing as him in a backdrop of all these giants, these warriors, these monsters, these creatures. So that right there makes it interesting. You are the least threatening thing on screen. And honestly, you're one of the central villains of Lord of the Rings in general. But I think it's interesting that they're putting you in the boots, even though he doesn't wear shoes. The shoes of the least threatening looking character against a backdrop of all these other threatening looking characters, where I guess you're just gonna have to survive and try to find the ring or something. It looks interesting. Depending on what system it is, I might get it. I might not. I don't know. But again, it was only like a teaser of what's going on. So again, I'm not entirely sure what the game entails, but I think that's a fair assessment to make, that you're just going to be sneaking around a lot, which could work. That could be interesting. That could be fun. Although I do think that if that's all you're doing, the novelty could wear off quickly. But we'll see once the game actually comes out. It's not going to come out for until 2022. This was just like an announcement or like a sneak peek. But I am at the very least interested. But that about does it for our minor topics. We're going to now move into our major topic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about this upcoming topic. This is just the one major topic we have. Black Veil Brides, one of my all-time favorite bands, has announced the release date of their next album, The Phantom Tomorrow. It is going to be June 4th, 2021. And yesterday they released the second single from that album, Fields of Bone. And yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Black Veil Brides. I've been a fan of them ever since I was like in high school. My favorite album of theirs is, of course, Wretched and Divine, The Story of the Wild Ones, which is another concept album. But yeah, The Phantom Tomorrow basically is another concept album, which is one reason why I'm so excited, because concept albums are extremely interesting to me, the ability to tell a story through music. But basically, the story of this album is a fictional underground comic book graphic novel universe where there is an underground society that is protected by a superhero-like figure called the Blackbird. But throughout the album, it's questioned whether or not he actually is a hero. And there are, of course, bad guys. I think the guy in the music video was known as Nine or something like that. So basically, the theme of the album is it boils down to, I think Andy Biersack, the lead singer of Black Veil Brides, described it best as he wants to encourage people to be their own heroes and not put all their hope and faith and trust in a heroic person, and instead just believe in themselves, which I think that's a good message. It's very interesting as well. So you have a superhero-like figure who's not exactly that heroic. Everyone just builds him up to be like that, and you, throughout the album, realize that he might not be everything he's cracked up to be. Which, honestly, the cover of the album showcases the Blackbird character, which is this weird scarecrow-looking guy. So that doesn't exactly look like the most superhero-looking thing I've ever seen, but, again, within the context of this album's concept, I think, again, this could be very, very interesting. Now, of course, several months ago, they released the lead single for this album, Scarlet Cross, which I thought was great. I think Scarlet Cross is an awesome song, and I really like the music video. But Fields of Bone that dropped yesterday, I thought was even better. Because, I mean, I'm used to rock and a little bit of metal from Black Veil Brides. I was not surprised with Scarlet Cross. I thought it was great, but it wasn't very surprising. Field of Bone felt more like techno. It was a more slowed down, serious song, while Scarlet Cross was more, let's have fun, let's have a good time, let's introduce everyone to what we're doing, our new look, everything like that. It felt like a more let's have fun song, but while this one felt more deep and introspective. But I was really interested, especially the opening few notes of Fields of Bone. It was more techno than anything else. It was an infusion of techno and rock, which I don't ever remember hearing Black Veil Brides use this kind of sound before. And I hope it's more present throughout the album, The Phantom Tomorrow, because it sounds very interesting, and I really, really liked it. And the music video that dropped was the directorial debut of lead singer Andy Biersack, and I think he did a commendable job. Now, I'm not a director or a film critic, so I can't really tell you if he did a good job or not, but I liked what I saw, and I loved the song. Also, Andy Biersack is freaking gorgeous. I'm a straight man, but seriously. The Phantom Tomorrow, again, is a concept album. And also, alongside the album, there's going to be like graphic novels and comic books about the Phantom Tomorrow universe, the further adventures of the Blackbird, and the characters that take place in that story. I think Andy might even try to do like some kind of like show or something, like a YouTube series about it or something. But I know that there's going to be like a comic book or graphic novel to coincide the record that's coming out. But I'm very excited about all of this. Once again, Black Veil Brides is one of my favorite bands. The Phantom Tomorrow drops June 4th, and you know that I'm going to be getting it the day or the day after it comes out because, again, I love these guys. So go listen to Scarlet Cross, go listen to Fields of Bone, and tell me what you think about the upcoming Black Veil Brides album, The Phantom Tomorrow. Tell me what you think about the singles, and what do you think, and also alongside the announcement of the date that the album will be released, they also revealed the entire track listing. Some very interesting looking songs. I'm not going to go through the entire track listing right now, but Fields of Bone actually takes place near the end of the album. Scarlet Cross, I think, is one of the first songs on the album, so it's interesting that they released the near beginning and the near end of the album as singles. And before it comes out in June, because we still have the rest of April and May, I'm hoping that maybe they'll release another single and another music video, but I don't know how likely that is. I would be all for it, because I'm really liking the direction this album is going. So, that's about it for our major topics. Tell me what you think about Black Veil. What's your favorite Black Veil Brides album? Are you looking forward to The Phantom Tomorrow? Because God knows I am. That's about it for our major topics, and now we are moving into our channel news and updates. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we are with our channel news and updates, and basically the only news update that I have right now for you guys is how we are going to tackle WrestleMania 37 nights 1 and 2 as far as podcasting and reviews are concerned. If you are on the TAW fan page on Facebook or the TAW Gaming page on Facebook, which there are links for that in the description, you would know what I'm about to tell you. Basically, we are partnering up with our friends over at the Court Martial Podcast, Sean McCarty and Skylar Greenberg, the Bay Area Brawler, Too Sweet to Be Sour. You know, Sean does it much better than I do, because, and also I'm just tired. I just woke up recording this. Night 1 of WrestleMania will be reviewed on this channel, with the Totally Awesome Podcast. It'll be me and Sean McCarty reviewing the show with Grammar Notes Skylar. So that we're getting the band back together for TAP to review Night 1 of WrestleMania 37. Night 2 of WrestleMania 37, which is going to be tomorrow, the review for that is going to be over on the Court Martial Podcast channel. It's going to be Sean, Skylar, and some notes from me. Because if you saw their AEW Revolution review, you would have heard the god-awful notes that I gave them for that show, which I honestly thought was very entertaining. And it's going to be more of the same at their WrestleMania 37 Night 2 review. So, once again, on Night 1, we're going to have the TAP podcast review for Night 1. And for Night 2, the podcast review is going to be on the Court Martial Podcast. And since there's not going to be a TAP review for Night 2 of WrestleMania, to, make room for that, or to excuse that, or to supplement that, or replace that, we are going to have a live stream reaction of Night 2 of WrestleMania 37. So tomorrow, when WrestleMania starts, if everything goes according to plan without a hitch, there's going to be a live stream of me and a friend. I'm trying to get Sean to be on the show, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. Or Jeffrey Albritton like we did with the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure. We will see, but there is going to be a live stream reaction on YouTube for WrestleMania 37, so be looking forward to that. And that's about all I have for you guys here today. That's all the news and updates I have. Slightly looking forward to WrestleMania later tonight. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.